Today I am fixing a fridge freezer. This is a no frost combi. The information that we see on the left hand side is the product number, the model number, the class, the type, and so on. What is very important to me is what I see on this side. This fridge is using R600 and it's supposed to be charged with 64 grams. This fridge has an evaporator at the back and it has this motor to distribute air inside the fridge for it to be more cold. At the top we've got a thermostat that goes to the back where there is an evaporator to detect the temperature of the fridge. So whenever the temperature of the fridge that we've set to the thermostat is met, the thermostat will switch off the compressor and the motor. Also at the bottom of this fridge we also have a motor that extracts cold air on the evaporator that is at the back and distribute it to the freezer to freeze stuff. So what we know about a no frost fridge is that it can never be controlled by the thermostat. So DeFi chose to use this PC board for a frost cycle and the defrost cycle of this fridge. So this PC board runs the fan motor, both fan motors, and the compressor. And at some time it will switch them off and activate the defrost element at the back, at the freezer compartment at the back. So since the board is faulty, I'm just gonna replace it with this defrost timer. This defrost timer has a frost cycle of about 8 hours and the defrost cycle of about 25 minutes. A motor here is run by pin number 1 and pin number 3. Pin number 1 is live and pin number 3 is neutral. So what this defrost timer does is for 8 hours it will give us electricity on pin number 4. That means if you measure pin number 4 and pin number 3, which is neutral, you will get 230. So we need to take that 230 to the compressor and also to the fan motor in the freezer and the fan motor on the top or on a fridge compartment. So when that 8 hours is complete, this defrost timer will cut electricity off on pin number 4 and it will take that electricity to pin number 2. So when it cuts the electricity off, the compressor will stop, the fan motors will stop. So what we're going to put on pin number 2? On pin number 2, we will put the defrost element, which is on the freezer compartment on the evaporator. So for 25 hours, we will switch on the heater and defrost every ice that is there on the freezer compartment. So what I will do, I will just connect the wires from the top. These wires are coming from the fan motor to the top. I will connect them to wires in the bottom that are coming from the fan motor at the freezer compartment, live to live, neutral to neutral, earth to earth. The compressor has a overload protector, so I will then take live on these wires and connect that live to the compressor overload protector. The relay takes neutral, so I will take neutral from these wires and connect that neutral to the compressor. The trap here is on that if we wire neutral on the source or here in the timer, we should remember that live does not go to live for a fan motor and the compressor and the other fan motor. Live takes the wire that is connected to pin number 4. We will then wire a defrost element neutral to neutral, and then the live of the defrost element will be wired to pin number 2. I'm sorry that I couldn't make a complete video for that fridge that I was repairing. During the time that I was repairing the fridge, I was alone and load shedding came in and I had to go and come back after 4 hours. And when I came back after 4 hours, the house was packed, so I couldn't make a video and make them feel, you know what I mean. So I decided to edit it with this wiring diagram of a timer that I'm just gonna explain here. You have noticed that in a timer we have pin number 2, 1, 4, 3, and we said here it's live, we wire live, and here we said we wire neutral. So we said here is the compressor and the fans. So here we said it's the defrost element. So if you decide, let's say this is our plug, right? So this is live, this is neutral, and let's take green and we say this is earth. So we know that we have a motor, a fan. We will say this is fan F for a freezer. Okay, fan FR. This is, we also had another fan, right? Which was a fan for a fridge. We also had a compressor. So this is a compressor. So both of these fans, they will have live, they will have neutral, and they will have earth. Again, earth, earth. You know that a compressor will have neutral, and this one also neutral. This is our live. So when a plug wire comes with these wires, what we do is we take neutral to the timer. Since the timer was installed underneath where there is a compressor, we will then bridge neutral from the timer to the fan motor. We then bridge again from the fan motor to another fan motor, then to the compressor. Earth does not go to the timer. Earth will go to the fan motor, again bridged to this fan motor, then later bridged to the compressor. I said the trap is here. Live from our plug goes to live of the timer. Then we are done. There is no other place where live goes. So we said number 4 gives us electricity for 8 hours. So during that 8 hours, what we want to wire? We will wire the fan motors. We'll wire this one. We will then wire this one. We will then wire the compressor. Note this wire goes to, when it goes to a compressor, it's going to an overload protector, and neutral is going to a relay, and earth is going to the frame of the compressor. The wiring for a fan motor of a freezer and a fridge and the compressor is done. What we are left with is pin number 2. See, where there is an evaporator, there is also a defrost element. There is also a defrost element. So this is the defrost element. So this element will take neutral from these. Because this defrost element is in the freezer, to defrost the ice that is formed on the evaporator of the freezer, it will take neutral from the fan motor of the freezer. So this is neutral going there. Again, pin number 2 of the defrost timer is then wired. Remember, pin number 2 gives us electricity for 25 minutes. Then this pin goes straight to the defrost element. For 8 hours we are running these fan motors and the compressor. We are making the freezer cold and the fridge cold. Then for 25 hours electricity will cut here, it will come to this pin, then it will activate the defrost element to defrost everything that is there on the, to defrost every ice that is there on the freezer evaporator. So that's how I wired the fridge, and after that I regassed the fridge. You saw that it's R600, so I regassed it with R600. If you're interested in knowing how I regas R600 without weighing R600, I have the other video where I regas a freezer with R600, so you go and watch that video. I'll put the link on the description if you don't want to go and look for it on my playlist. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video so that this video will reach whoever who might be interested in learning appliances or knowing appliances.